It is a beautiful beginning to a Tuesday afternoon, and that can only mean one thing, that the Protection United podcast is here. Welcome on in, folks, to Studio Triple J, where we got a jam-packed episode. Not much time for an intro here, Jay, because a lot of breaking news was going down in terms of the transfer portal opening up. We still have some guys going in the state championship games for UIL and Texas 6A, so we just got to dive straight into it, Jay.
Hey, actually, and we also got the First Lady in the building, going to be on here live to make her announcement of where her next home is going to be. Probably going to be one of my favorite podcasts that we've ever done in this short period of the Protect You podcast. I'm excited. I'm ready to go. We're going to be talking about two of the pillars that are on this wall.
Absolutely.
One of the five Mount Rushmores.
So yeah, the banner athletes.
The banner athletes. And we got action and we got movement. So let's get it going, baby.
Absolutely, because as I'm sure most of y'all that have been following Protection United know, that the biggest news that was really coming down over the weekend was the announcement by DJ Lagway, not only of continuing to further rep the brand as he was getting in some very critical workouts while still repping his Protection United gear.
Yeah,
but
love it. The man looks good. Hey, he's getting healthy, stronger. I just can't wait till when we get to see the run and the healthiness, him getting to be able to show the full, assets that he brings to the table from the QB position. But hey, the guy's repping, he looks good, representing that Protect You crew gear.
Absolutely. And it was very important for him to be getting in that work during this offseason period for the Florida Gators, as it was announced on Monday, December 15th, that DJ Lagway would be entering his name into the transfer portal. This graphic here brought to us by On3, and then obviously the announcement, the formal announcement graphic put forward by DJ. This move comes obviously with a lot of speculation as to why this move was really happening, but from the outside looking in, there are obviously a lot of factors going on with the Florida program, the firing of Billy Napier earlier in the season, and it seems like the upheaval that the Florida Gators program is going to be going through, especially on the offensive side of the ball. With coordinators coming in, they've already said they're not going to be retaining Gonzalez as their interim head coach. They've already made the decision to bring in, I believe it's Tulane's head coach will be the head man now for the Gators. There's a lot of speculation that goes into why this decision is happening and when this decision is happening. But Jay, obviously you know a lot more of this in the in-depth and the behind-the-scenes conversation. So I'll toss it over to you to sort of separate the speculation from the truth here as to what's really going on in the mindset of not just DJ, but the rest of the Lagway family and the mutual departure here between DJ and the Florida Gators.
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, when DJ hit the portal on Monday, let's just say that we were running a Jerry Lewis telethon, right? The phones were blowing off the hook, from general managers to coaches to the combination, right, of it all. You got the in-house collectives, the out-of-house collectives. Everybody, wants an opportunity, right, to go after the great DJ Lagway. And it was a situation of excitement. Sometimes change can be a little, different. But look, at the end of the day, there's a lot in regards to the speculation that you alluded to. He did it for this reason, or he did it for the money, or he did it because he was scared of competition. That's completely false, right? DJ has always been about playing football. That's all he's cared about from day one, right? Do we understand here at Protection United, obviously, Nikki and Derek Lagway, they understand there's a business side. So why would they not want to capitalize off the business side? But just talking about the young man, the guy that's going to put in the 12 to 14 hours in the lab, he just wants to play. And you go back, Jake, and look at all the best quarterbacks, right? Guys that we've talked about that have won some fantasy football championships for us, right? You look at that situation, Jake, where you look at like a Bo Nix. He got ran out of Auburn. Then he went to Oregon. Now he's in the NFL playing for Denver Broncos, and there they literally are on an 11-game win streak right now, right? Before Jaden Daniels got hurt, right? He was the hottest thing. Well, guess what? Jaden Daniels didn't start at LSU. Started at Arizona State, right? You go through and look at all the top quarterbacks, Cam Ward and Connor Word, before he even got to Miami, right? So this is not where DJ is creating something new that all of a sudden it's like everybody's up in awe, right? Maybe because of him being the National Gatorade Player of the Year, maybe because he did have more cameras around him coming out of high school than maybe the other quarterbacks that I just mentioned. However, he's not doing anything any different than anyone else, right? So just kind of wanted to at least, speak on that first. But in regards to, the conversation, we've had some great conversations, right? I know there's been, media and leakage and, Derek and I are like, how's all this getting out? But we understand, people aren't going to, keep things in. There's a lot of excitement, around and, us getting to talk to a lot of great schools, a lot of great coaches. And it was awesome to see the presentation and the game plan. And most importantly, them laying out that roadmap of not only helping DJ be successful on the field in the now, but how they're going to develop him and help him be ready for when it's time for him to go play on Sunday. So.
Yes, and I also would like to stress, too, that there's obviously a lot of camaraderie that comes between Protection United, the Lagway family, and then the Florida program as well. This was more so a mutual thing. The writing, it did seem like, was a little bit on the wall in terms of what the Florida program was going to be like, and DJ I feel like respectfully, very maturely decided to mutually part ways. This isn't, again, like you said, a play of money is the main factor here. There's a lot more that goes into this decision than some people, especially on social media, the armchair statisticians, the armchair commentators would really have you think. This is a very complicated decision because now you're talking about upheaving and changing a brand. You're having to talk about negotiating new contracts and what does that process really look like. So I give a lot of credit to both DJ and then obviously the Florida program for being very respectful in terms of making sure that this is a smooth transition and making sure that nobody is really left hanging out in the dust here either.
Well, yeah, but I think the most important thing that most people are missing is the fact of the true sensitivity of the quarterback position, right? Like, even when I was coaching like Little League football, like parents want to come to me and talk about why their kids not starting at receiver or starting at running back or not starting at line. And I'm like, you got to make the top 5, right? I played 5 of those positions, right? I know running back, there's typically only 2 to 3 of those guys. But a QB is one. I've always showed an extended grace to all the parents in regards to that quarterback position, right? So now you move up to the bigger level, right? Playing that P4 football in the SEC currently. And you have to understand that you have to put yourself in the best position. And that's what DJ is looking at from that standpoint of you went to Florida, wanted to be a Gator from Jump Street. It didn't work out. The coaches are not there anymore. Now you got to go to where you're going to be put in a position to where a team is ready to win now. A team, wants to build around you. Their offense can fit your skill set and allow you to show everything that you can do and what's in your arsenal, right? I mean, go back to like a Caleb Williams, right? Why would he stay at Oklahoma when Lincoln Riley left to go to USC? Well, it's crazy as hell. Go to where the coach is going to play you, to go to a guy that recruited you, go to where the guy's going to put you in a better situation to help you, which look at Caleb Williams now. Once again, the Chicago Bears are having a phenomenal season, right? The list goes on and on. So when you look at what DJ wants to do, in essence of finding all of the things that I just mentioned to continue to help him build his not only where he is on the football field as an individual player, but surround him with the talent, surround him with the coaching staff to where everything is in sync, right? And I'm not saying that Florida didn't provide that, but at the end of the day, it still didn't work, hence why Coach Napier was relieved of his duties, right? Because it wasn't working. So in turn, he goes, I can understand why DJ, along with, I think about 10 to 15 Gators from what I've been seeing on X, also are exiting stage left, and they're looking for a new home too. So, but it's going to be great. At the end of the day, we have not even come close to hearing the end of DJ Lagway. We know what that young man can do, whether he stays in SEC, whether he goes Big 12, Big 10, right, ACC. That position, right, it doesn't matter, right? You're going to be fine. Drake May played at North Carolina.
Yeah.
People beat him up for that. Drake May is having a hell of a NFL career.
That he is.
Right, before Daniel Jones got hurt. Yeah, did he get beat up at the Giants? Yeah, the Giants suck. But what was he doing for the Colts before he got injured?
That was one of the front runners for best team in the league.
Thank you, Jake. That's my point. And so this moving carousel is not, it don't stop in college, and it doesn't stop even in the NFL. And you see a lot of guys, I mean, with the exception of Patrick Mahomes, how many quarterbacks do we know that actually played from beginning to end for their career? And I know Patrick is still playing, and we're assuming that he'll finish offensive chief. But even the GOATs of Brady, the Mannings, right? Eli was the only one that I know of that went from beginning to end.
Yeah.
But we go back all the way to Joe Montana.
That's true.
These guys
finished out his career with the Chiefs.
Yeah, so that's kind of where, this whole thing that I want to remind the world about, in essence of when it's the quarterback position, is only one position, one spot, and you got to go where it's going to help benefit yourself and to help propel. So then you win and everything else kind of, happens organically.
Absolutely. And with that, DJ does very much lead off a heavy, it feels like, Protect You crew members in the news, but not to be overshadowed in any ways, as Jay, we still have 2 Texas high school athletes that are dancing their way through the playoffs, and they are 1 win away from being able to call themselves state champions.
Yeah, brother. Hey, and we'll start off with the big man out of North Shore High School, one of the most premier high schools in the nation. We got our guy, Brandon Hebert. Brandon Hebert, left tackle now. They started him off at right tackle, and then they were like, man, we need more protection for our QB, and we need to be able to run on that backside. I mean, you're looking at this monster. This is against Lake Travis, right, in the state semifinal games. And, I mean, you look at our guy just handling business, protecting that blind side. And this young man, Jake, is only a junior.
Yes.
He's
so
got a
plenty of opportunities.
whole nother year to do his thing. But, I think people might not understand that the fact that North Shore is so loaded with talent, that the fact that he's starting as a junior speaks how volumes of not only how good he is, but how his football IQ is, because besides the quarterback spot, I've always been a big believer that playing offensive line is the toughest position, because you don't know what blitz you're going to see. You don't know if there's going to be a 6-man front, they're going to blitz a linebacker, and you got to make a decision pretty quick of where you're going to get your blocks. But even off this play here, I mean, just handling number 11. It seems like every play that young man's shoulder pads was sitting up high. Right? Remember those old school suits, Jake, where you had the big old shoulder pads?
Yes.
And I don't know why. I want to know why our parents used to wear those.
That was before my time, but I've seen the pictures, Jay. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I feel like those things were heavy as hell on their shoulders, right?
I don't know. Fashion was different back then.
It was. Well, but look at number 11, because that's how his shoulder pads look with Brandon fitness handling him. I mean, he's just getting frustrated. He just pushes him like, man, can you leave me alone? I mean, look at him now, just getting mauled, bro. I mean, Brandon is doing his thing for North Shore, and I'm not shocked that he's been a huge part of North Shore getting to go compete once again for another state championship against another premier powerhouse in Duncanville.
Yes, and there was a lot to be frustrated about if you were on that Lake Travis defensive front, as you gave up 28 points. Not bad, but you only got 6 points on them, and so North Shore walked away with a 28-6 win in what was the Final Four matchup, and so now they get ready to take on the Duncanville Panthers for the UIL 6A Division I state championship. This will be the 6th time that Duncanville and North Shore have met each other in the state playoffs since the year 2018. North Shore leads the series 3-2, but Duncanville has gotten the last 2, and it was both of them for state championships. So North Shore might be looking to get a little bit of the monkey off of their back of getting over that hump and then reclaiming their spot as the premier team for 6A.
And it's funny because I still remember that game where it was a Hail Mary thrown for North Shore to beat Duncanville, because it could easily be 3-2 Duncanville. But, the great Demetrius Davis, throws that 50-yard bomb, as a walk-off, and the receiver makes a miraculous catch. That was probably one of the best state championship games in the history of state championships, just for the sheer fact that game should have been over.
Yes.
And, but yeah, this is awesome, right? That we're getting to see 2 powerhouses, the 2 best teams on the 6A Division I level. Everybody knew it coming in. Other teams thought they had a shot, but we knew that it was going to be these 2 squads, right? Competing again. And I know Lake Travis kind of ruined the party last year, but North Shore got their lick back, and here we go.
That they did. And speaking of teams out of those same areas, very interesting fact that we'll get into after this one. But not only that, Dillon Mitchell will also be joining the state championship potential here out of the UIL 6A D2 spot. Dillon Mitchell, they took care of business against Vandergrift in a 58-41 barn burner of a matchup in McLean Stadium.
And you look at Dillon here. I mean, Mr. Superman, a.k.a. Mr. Autopilot. I mean, like, you just see everything that our guys doing for CE King. I mean, and check this out, Jake. I told you about Brandon being a junior, but Dillon's only a sophomore.
Yep.
He's 2028. This dude's got 2 more years of high school football. But you see that the difference maker that he has been for a program that, let's just be real, I mean, because they're in that same district with North Shore, and CE King's always been an afterthought. It's either been North Shore or Tascasita, right? Now here comes CE King joining the party, and look what they have done, and it's behind our guy. You know, I mean, they have used him almost as a decoy this past game because teams are now starting to bracket him. A little sophomore, and he's got literally a corner, a safety, and he's got an outside backer or a strong safety, all worried about him. So in turn, the backs are getting one-on-one. The backside receivers are getting one-on-one. But even with that, you saw Dillon just blew by.
Yep.
And Computer Jesus, if you could show that clip one more time, this was another thing that I liked that was so funny. It just shows how fast Dillon is. Jake, I want y'all to watch, and all the fans that are watching this here on the Protect You podcast, he's so fast that he had time to spin the ball, look up in the air, and now he finally has a teammate. Like, it took a teammate almost 10 seconds.
Well, even too, like even number 4 on the pursuit, there was like, I'm not catching him.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. I mean, the ball stopped spinning before a teammate was even able to get to him, Jay. And you see the bracket that I'm talking about, 3 guys, and they still burn past all 3 of them. And then there's the 4th one. You can bring it back to us now, Computer Jesus. Look,
stop it.
Dillon Mitchell is one of the fastest human beings, Jake, in the entire nation. The whole nation.
Yeah,
he is that guy.
Yes.
He's that guy. I'm telling you, we love Percy Harvin as being college football fans. Tell me you don't see Percy Harvin in that young man.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me you don't see it.
Speedy, versatile, put him pretty much anywhere in the offense or even on special teams, and he gets it done.
He gets done. Kick it to him. DeSoto, kick it to him. Kick it to him. Don't kick it out the end zone, DeSoto. Kick it to him. When you're on punt, kick it to him. Watch what happens.
Yes, because he was not only that, he was the leading receiver for CE King in their most recent one. Only 2 catches, but still 63 yards in that long bomb tutty. Man. And they needed every last bit of it in that barn burner against Vandergrift. And like you said, Jay, they're going to be taking on DeSoto after DeSoto took down Southlake, perennial number 1 team in the state throughout this entire season. So now it'll be DeSoto and CE King taking things on. But not only that, Jay, it's a DFW versus Houston battle here.
It is.
Where we got 2 teams from the same district, District 23 6A in the form of North Shore and CE King.
Yep.
And then out of the Dallas area and 11 6A is Duncanville and DeSoto. Incredibly unique that we get to see that happen now. We've seen the split in the 6A all the way down between all of the different classifications in the UIL, and it leads to such unique situations like we have here.
I know, man, and I love that, right? You know, as you know, I'm a part of one of the largest high school football groups, right? The Texas high school page. You know, I'm an admin on there now just because they know you and I bring a lot to the table and covering, you know, football, especially here in the great state. But I mean, when you look at what, you know, these 2 districts have done, and, you know, you look at also the teams within that, what an amazing storyline, right? I mean, you have Houston and Dallas battling in this group, and now we're getting to watch it on the gridiron. Jerry's World will be jumping come Saturday. I saw people complaining about, oh man, it's $50 to get in. I'll pay $250 to get in if you know that you're going to get 3 amazing games, because you also have South Oak Cliff that's going to be playing against Randall. Mm-hmm. So you truly have Houston versus Dallas in all 3 of those games, but it was going to be an amazing show. Brandon Hebert, Dillon Mitchell, you know we're rooting for both of you guys. We want y'all to bring it home, and let's make sure that we make this thing pop all the way through. But we got to bring it home, Jake.
Absolutely.
We need to bring it to the H.
We need to make sure that trophy stays in H-Town.
Yes, we do.
Comes home.
It comes home.
It comes home.
Bring it home.
Absolutely.
Bring it home. At least one. Right, at least one.
Yes, surely one of them will hit. But then let's shift gears just a little bit more here and take things over to the private school sector, where you may say, Jay, private school has been wrapped up for a while now. Why are we covering this? We're here for a good reason, because TAPS has finally come out with their all-state rankings and their all-state selections. And who else but Kingston Buyer has landed himself a first-team all-state selection for the defensive line. And when you look at those stats out of the TAPS D2 ranks, it's very easy to see why Kingston is one of the headlining acts, not just in All Saints, not just in DFW, but in the entire state of Texas as one of the best defensive linemen that we have seen.
Yeah, man, Kingston, is a baller. I mean, we know what Kingston brings from that D line perspective. This young man, kind of like what his dad says, like when that butt's in the air, it's go time. And what Kingston has done this past season, just dominating, right? I mean, I'm not shocked at all. It's almost like this was expected. I think the shock would have been if he didn't make the All-State team, but. Kingston Byard, 2027, one of the top D linemen, not only in the state of Texas, but also in the nation. Max Preps has even updated their graphics. And he's number one in multiple categories, top 10 in all categories in regards to the way that the D line is being graded. And, Kingston is a guy that we expect a lot of action, over, I would say, Q1 and Q2 of 2026 when these college coaches get past the transfer portal and then they start locking in and putting all of their attention on this 2027 classes coming up. I expect him to receive a lot of offers and get that ball rolling, for him. And don't be shocked, Jake, if that P4 schools start rolling in to go along with those group of fives, because I think Kingston is showing that he can compete and play on that big boy level.
No, I don't doubt any of that, Jay, because if the accolades weren't enough, folks, let me just put it into numbers of how dominant Kingston was throughout this season. 15.5 sacks, 41.5 TFLs, 83 total tackles, and then we'll throw 5 block punts in there for good measure.
Yeah.
That's a great profile of work, a great accumulation of stats for any defensive lineman, but also for a guy that was constantly double teamed. Always that guy on the defensive front that the O-line had to be attentive of, but he still took care of business. I think speaks volumes for how much of a talent Kingston Byard is, and we'll be keeping a very close eye on him throughout this upcoming season because, man, if that's what he's doing now, you just wait until he gets another offseason under his belt.
Oh, I agree, and I can't wait to watch him at the camp season too. Because we all know a lot of offers are thrown out at these camps, and looking forward to watching Kingston go against these 4- and 5-star O-linemen. Let's just see what they can do.
Absolutely.
Right,
absolutely. We will. And now we'll shift gears once more into the Protect You Crew editions. New athletes and new names that are joining the Protection United umbrella. And we're very excited to see these guys here because we're still working a handful of those connections. Some guys out there in Louisiana area, but then also we're staying loyal and we continue to work that transfer portal. We had sensational success over last season in terms of finding new homes for our guys, making sure that they got their fair share when it came to the NIL pie, and 2 more guys that are looking to get just a little bit of that piece of action that we might offer them, Jay.
Yeah, buddy. Hey, and the crew continues to grow.
Absolutely, Jay.
And I love that, and got 2 more great additions, and I'm excited for both of these young men.
That we do. And I'm very excited to welcome in Ryan Randolph as our first Protect You Crew edition. Big body defensive lineman, interior defensive lineman out of Lincoln Prep School. He is looking to try and make an impact here going into the transfer portal. And you can see why here looking at these footage.
Yeah. I mean, this first clip is going to tell you a whole lot. Oh, man. How do you send somebody back 5 yards? Oh, just one hit. I mean, no, this young man is, he's different. I mean, he's different. I mean, Ryan dominated high school level, went prep school, right? Didn't have the offers that he was looking for. A lot of it, just trying to figure it out on his own. And then, him finding us and kind of letting us know like, hey, I would love for you guys to help showcase my talent and help get me on this list with, other schools where they know that I exist in this world. Well, Ryan, we're here for it, brother. And we love what you're doing and putting out on film. And once again, there it is, the same clip. And yeah, I mean, definitely a young man, Jake, that I expect, once again, a lot of recruitment to come his way, right? We know that being at a prep school is, time to have him now move on, right, to broader horizons, right, on the college scene. And, Ryan is someone that I know coaches are going to be loving. I can't wait to add him to our list, right, to get that out as we add him to that prep school and JUCO list of guys that we do rep.
Absolutely. And I think, too, he's that prototypical interior defensive lineman, big bodied, but with tremendous strength.
Right.
And I think, too, he's got that good footwork. In talking with our talent scout, Logan Mahoney, he had a lot of praise to give Ryan in terms of his raw attributes with a good sprinkling of the technical skills in there that a lot of those coaches are really looking for, as he's essentially had a chance here to reclassify.
Right.
He's got another year under his belt, but he hasn't burned any eligibility for whichever program it is he ultimately lands at.
Yeah, exactly. No, man, Ron's going to be a guy.
Yes, he
He's a
will.
guy. I'm telling you, coaches, if you're watching, you reach out, come holler at us. We'll give you everything you need. But another thing too, I mean, yes or no, sir, guy.
Yes.
Right. I mean, those are things that we really go deep when we're doing these consultations with these athletes, and just love that he fits that mold. A dog on the field, but respectful young man off the field. Right. And that's that equal balance to where, once again, another young man that not only won't get a coach fired, but probably will help them get an extension.
Yes, yes, he will. And I think we got another one of those guys too, also joining the Protect You crew, as AJ Vaughns is another guy that I'm very excited to see here, because he had some really interesting film that he was able to give us, where another just dominant force, sort of like a Myles Garrett almost.
Yeah.
You move him around so much on the defensive side of the ball, and he is just a game wrecker regardless of where you put him.
Yeah, man. When we first looked at this, and I'm just like, man, why do we have D-line? And then you reminded me, well, Jay, because he's played all over the D-line. Nose, tackle, edge. I mean, this young man is a monster, right? I mean, you see them playing against the great independents, and for the fans of Jason Brown and Last Chance U, right? Because he was at Dodge City before, he just committed to Georgia State, right? One of the Sun Belt teams. But he is a young man that is going to have a very, very, very bright future. This was one of those situations where he reached out to us at the same time we were reaching out to him, because we saw him come across Twitter or X, and I was like, who is this monster? And why have we not found him and got on board with him? But, very happy to be representing, AJ. I would say that it would have been interesting if we could have got connected with him, before him being committed to Georgia State, just to kind of see, where things are. Because he's another example, Jake, of just a diamond in the rough, right? There's so many people that are playing football that you cannot expect these college coaches to find everybody to go along with during the time that they need to be watching them. They got to prepare for their seasons and their week games. I mean, you got to think about it, Jake. Everybody that still has a job is because they are in a bowl game. Coaches don't even have time to even finish their exit meetings with guys that are on the roster right now, that are playing for them, because they're so busy and there's so much emphasis that goes into these bowl games. So that's what happened here with AJ. We're happy that he's at Georgia State. Look forward to working with those guys and building a relationship. It's just, you see the talent, and I'm sure everybody asking the same question that I asked: how did Georgia State get you, bro? Right? And it's just one of those deals, right? And so him partnering up with Protection United and him doing the things that we know that we can do for him and help him, I'm excited.
And I think these two athletes too really speak of the importance of finding that right connection and finding the right people in the transfer portal, of not just, obviously the connection of the athletes, making sure that they find the right homes that they're looking for, making sure that they find the right schemes, the right coaches that are in love with them, as opposed to just liking them on the field. But from the agency perspective too, of being able to utilize the connections, right? Having that willingness to reach out to an athlete and say, hey, we understand that you are really good at what you do and you have untapped potential that we would like to tap into, but you're not going to be able to show that off unless you come work with us and we make this mutual partnership happen, so that way we can put you in a position where those attributes will really shine through. I think that's what Protection United has really started to offer as the regular season has died down and we're moving into this off-season portion of, you're going to need somebody to negotiate this. This is a business now. This isn't just purely athletics. This is multi-million-dollar brands that are going to try and invest in your talents. You need to find the right people to surround yourself with, so that way you're not being taken advantage of and you're finding the right home, both in terms of on the field and off the field, Jay.
No, I agree. And speaking of everything that you just said, right? It's a good time. Oh, wait, hold on. I think we might have a question from the YouTube, Computer Jesus, or you got something else to talk to us about?
No, just giving a shout out to there's Donna Coleman, Casey Coleman, and Tig Woods 2005 for watching the podcast.
There you go. No, I love that. Hey, and guys, seriously, like ones, especially the ones that are watching on our YouTube, please, if you have any questions, comments, etc., love for you guys to put it on there. And if Computer Jesus likes what he sees, he'll interrupt the show, and we will definitely ask the question, because it is now time to get the First Lady here on the show. We're going to bring her on here in a second to talk about not only the recruiting process, but also she will be revealing, Jake, live where she will be going next. So you guys stay tuned. Give us a couple of minutes so we can get the First Lady on the show. We'll be right back. Come back.
Yep. So
We're back
welcome on.
live. We're live. Just we didn't get a countdown. Here it is. All right.
Welcome on in, folks. We've brought in another special guest. I like, Jay, that we keep bringing special guests in.
I do too.
We get to fully use
too.
the round table as much as we can.
No, I do too. And it's so funny too, because with Samara, her being, she's all about volleyball, right? And I'm just gonna speak for her on this because I know she'll never tell the world this, right? I mean, she's like, no, I don't want all this on my social. I don't ever want to come off as fake. I want to stay genuine and true to myself, which I love and respect that about you, Samara. And this opportunity, Jay, came about because Samara's like, hey, Jay, I think I'm going to, make my post and my announcement on Tuesday or even Wednesday. And I'm like, Samara, I got a way better idea. What if you came on the podcast live, sit here in 3D with us, let us have a little friend banter, conversation, Q&A session, and then you could reveal her announcement. I'm not going to lie, Jake. I thought she was going to tell me no. And I was going to have to go talk to mom and dad and be like, please, please, please make it. You know how Michael Jordan's agent had to make him go to Nike?
I know. I know.
He was like, I ain't going to Nike, mom. I want Adidas. And mom was like, no, you're going. I thought I was going to have to. I didn't have to do that. Samara was on the plane back from one of her OVs, and she said, Jay, yes, I'll do it. So
It's nice,
Samara,
it's nice how things work out like that.
thank you so much for listening to your agent and coming on. Seriously, how you been, girl?
I've been pretty good. Yeah, getting in the portal has been a huge relief off my chest. Just weight lifted, and I'm excited for my next chapter.
Yeah? Okay. You, first of all, before we jump in it, do you like the studio?
I love it. It's
is
so
it badass?
comfortable. Yes.
Do you like it?
Y'all would have never guessed this was a man cave before.
Girl,
ever.
Thank you. Now, I need you to have my back on this, because people have been beating me up saying, Jay, why would you give up your man cave? Like,
you can always rebuild a man cave. It's just like, this is an established space for a podcast. I like it.
Thank you.
Lighting's perfect.
You like the whole setup, the
Yes,
table,
I
all
love
things,
it.
right?
I love it.
Because your dad was beating me up about the table. The first time he saw it, he texted me, man, get that table out the way, get couches. And I said, Sam, I need a
Couches
desk.
would be cool.
It would be.
And then a mini little coffee table in the middle.
It would be. We could be. Dad, like, and you got pop in the green room.
Just saying.
Well, you know what? We are going to have to do a make.
Okay.
Over, right?
All right.
I think we're going to have to get something off the wall, right? As you know, you're one of the
gotta
pillars
go.
here.
Yeah.
That one, I think I'm going to still get you to sign it.
Oh, yeah, for
We'll
sure.
still get you to sign it. because that one is important. But then
Part of my journey.
part of your journey, I like that. And then we got to get another one right up
Yes.
on the wall. So maybe we'll change it out. But anyway, let's just jump into it, Samara, right? Interesting road
Yes.
thus far,
Extremely.
right?
Mhm.
Right? Fun,
It's been fun.
nerve-wracking a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely grown me as a person. All these experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
3
it.
different campuses in 1 year.
Hey,
Okay.
and that's interesting that you bring that up because, Jake, like, we've been working with Samara, right?
Of course.
She's not only, the first lady, but, really, I would say, because I don't count DJ and Jalen, they didn't have a choice. Right? But, you talk about Samara and Justin Williams. I mean, like, they truly were the first 2 athletes, regardless of gender, right? To be a part of Protection United. And so Pitt, right? We're there.
There. Then we left.
We left because, hey,
Yeah. Things
promises were
happen.
made on the front side, but then not
Things-
delivered and things happen. And then we have we got 3 days,
We had 3 days to make a decision.
right?
So
3 days. And I think
that's
you were
very
like,
telling. Yeah.
Jay, you find me a place in 3 days, then you could be my agent forever. That's what I had in my head. You didn't say that. That's what
Basically.
but that's what it was.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it was. And so, talk a little bit about just that part of it, right? Where you're thinking in your head, I graduated early.
Yeah.
I did everything I was supposed to do, not only on the court, because you were a first team high school All-American.
Yes.
Right. But you also had to handle business in the classroom in order to graduate early. Right.
Yeah.
And so what was that thought where you're like, man, if I don't find a home in 3 days, like I got to go back to my folks' house
it was
for a whole semester.
Yeah, I didn't want to do that. All the work I put into graduating early, it's just like, you mean to tell me I can't go to college? That was the plan all along. I was just like, gotta work some magic, and you worked it.
Well, I appreciate it. Hey, but keep the main thing the main thing. If it wasn't for your talents, I wouldn't have been able to do any of this. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I represent Samara Coleman. I showed the release papers from Pitt, and then phones were just blowing up, right? We're going to be able to start a whole volleyball department. I told my team here, protect you because you can
That'd be cool.
I got like 30 head coaches' phone numbers now,
Yeah,
right?
you do.
And speaking of, right, we go through the season with TCU. One of your teammates get hurt early in the season. You guys start off 1 and 2. I remember that. But then I'll never forget, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong here, and I know you will know too, Samara. Was it against UCLA? Or what game was it?
Texas A&M.
Was it A&M where they got hurt?
No, it was not.
against
It was
Penn
not the
State.
injury. It was Penn State.
Penn State
was
when
the
the
injury.
injury
Correct.
happened. But
Then
then
you come in.
That's when I stepped in.
Right, you
Yes.
stepped in, but then go ahead, Jake, with the
same.
A&M.
But then it was the coming out party where you really put your name out there
Exactly.
against one of the
Ooh.
better teams that
Oh,
we've seen
man.
this season, a Final Four
Final
team.
Four team.
They're still
Yeah.
playing. Yeah.
Yes, they are. They took down undefeated Nebraska in the most recent round.
Mhm.
But you got out there and you put up, 17 kills against them?
19.
I like that. Yeah.
Hitting
yeah.
458.
Hold me accountable
Oh,
because
man.
that's incredible to see, especially
Right.
against a team that was as veteran-led as A&M was.
Yeah.
To get out there as a freshman where, I've been following your journey for these past several years of, I covered your final 2 seasons at Grand Oaks.
Yeah.
I was in the building when
were.
y'all lifted the championship trophies. So
Twice.
So I know what you've been through in terms of being able to go out there and constantly prove that you belong on the floor
Yeah.
against any level of competition. But from your perspective, what did that feel like to go in there? And it was in College Station, if I'm correct.
Well, no, it was at home.
It was?
Yes, it was at home.
Even better. To show out for a home crowd, to show out for those fans, for your coaches, to get out there and say, I do deserve to be here. And I need this type of respect on my name. What did that feel like from your perspective?
Yeah, it was definitely like I have something to prove, and working all spring, all summer, no days off really. Dare I say, I might have been one of the only pins that had been consistently working with the team that long. It's just like, okay, like it's my chance to shine. Like I'm gonna show y'all who should be on the court, and I think I did. I think I proved something.
Oh, no, you did. Because the way that you were murdering that ball, like, I don't know what was in your mind, and I don't know, like, what gets you to that point, something was inside of you in that match. And I don't know. I don't know if you were pissed off or somebody made you mad. Like,
Yeah,
do you mind sharing that with us?
I think it was just a mix of like, I guess I was a little pissed off, a little anger, and then just no like worries, just feel it like playing free, like first home match.
Yeah.
Like I was like, okay, I'm gonna show Funky Town what I'm about. And I did. And I think I left my mark.
Oh no, no, you definitely left your mark because I mean, look, first of all, you know, and I know we're jumping around. I think we're kind of getting ready to this part. So we'll transition now to the portal. Thank you, TCU. We love it. TCU got the, you know, do your thing, led them to a top 10 program when you were on the court. Highest they've ever been. Yeah. And things were great, you know, there. You know, but we understand, right? Mm-hmm. We believe this here. Politics will never go away, right? And we know the media controls all things, right? And so it's one of those deals where we can sit around and bitch about it, or we can just control our own narrative. Hence why we started the podcast and wanted you to come on and so you tell your story, right? But at the end of the day, we get it. It doesn't matter if it's volleyball, football, there's all kind of things, right? You know, there's situations where a coach could promise a lot of things to a lot of people, and then it just, next thing you know, you make too many promises to everybody. Now it's like,
now you got 3 people in the portal within 12 hours.
Correct. You know, because back's against the wall, right? But at the end of the day, you hit the portal, right? We didn't know what was going to happen, right? You know, because there now, we talk about Pitt, going to TCU, finding something. So you go from, I'm leaving Pitt. Now I got to find a home in 3 days. Stress. So we find the home. Little exhale. Now, here comes stress again because we know your talent. Mom and dad know your talent. Us here at Protection United know your talent. But Samara's probably thinking, well, y'all are my cheerleaders. Of course, y'all are going to say all this stuff. Y'all got to have my back. We were Team Samara. It don't matter what y'all think. It matters what these other coaches think.
Yeah.
Well, I'm here to tell you, Jake Wilson, that we talked about DJ Lagway and the Jerry Lewis telethon. Well, let's just say that Samara gave me a lot of good reps. 45 freaking offers, Jake, in the first 48 hours of this young lady hitting the portal, dog.
Makes sense to me.
No, I mean, Samara and I worked from probably, I don't know, seemed like noon to what, 1 in the morning? Because the West Coast school started blowing us up. And you're just like, Jay.
It was so late.
Jay.
Yeah.
I'll never forget, you hit me up. You're like, hey, if you're anything back, I'm like, Samara, like, you want me to call all these schools? We got to come up with a game plan.
Yeah.
Right? And so we sit down, we go through it, and Samara tells me. And this just shows where she not only shows her intelligence and her IQ, but what I love about you and watching you grow, because I've known you since you were like, that's been like 12 years old, right? I love watching the growth where you're a woman now that knows what she wants. And I love that. And she said it in this order too, Jake. She goes, culture is very important to me. Because I was like, Samara, we got to have a game plan. We can't entertain 50 schools,
right?
45, 50 schools. Right? Second one was winning pedigree. Professional roadmap. Now, you know, professional leagues.
Yes.
And she wanted to make sure. And then the last was the NIL.
Seems reasonable to me.
It's more than reasonable because it's like most athletes, the NIL is going to be higher.
First on the list, yeah.
And I don't begrudge them for that. It's still a business and you should be compensated. But I just love the fact that Samara is just still locked in of like, these 3 are more important than the 4th. The 4th should happen organically. Kind of like with her social media, when she argues me up and down, she's like, Jay, if I do my thing on the court, my social media is going to grow. Like, we don't have to do no extra, right? Talk to me, Samara. Let's just start off with the culture. Let's go with that very first one. Like, why was that the number one thing for you?
Yeah, I'd say that's probably highest on my list because I just think it's super important that people should, I don't know, understand each other. It should be a family family environment. And
I got you.
Yeah. Okay. I like that.
I say because too, there's a lot more that goes into that of building the locker room and what does that look like? And it starts with the coaches. It starts with them instilling core values and what that bleeds down to with the rest of the players. Obviously, the assistants, especially in volleyball, play a huge role in that, because I would argue volleyball more than pretty much any other sport, the assistant coaches are really playing a concerted role,
Yeah.
both on the court and especially in the locker room. So it's really reassuring to hear you say that, because I think culture is just sort of a buzzword that gets thrown around by a lot of
Yeah.
athletes and especially by a lot of coaches. But to hear that that's your major point of emphasis, you want to be a part of that strong family type unit, really does matter to the programs. And I feel like especially the brands that are going to be working with you here in this very near future. But with how competitive and how much growth we've seen too in the volleyball sphere, especially in collegiate volleyball, where they're doing numbers that are comparable to some college football games now,
Yeah.
where this might be probably, I think, the most viewed NCAA volleyball tournament ever that
I
we have
think so
ever
too.
seen. When you talk about that too, there's so many programs that are on the come up with how evenly balanced the conferences have become
Mhm.
now. When you talk about having that winning pedigree and being a part of a program that is competitive, where does that sort of fall in terms of your list of priorities?
Yeah, I'm just being a competitive person. Like I just like being in an environment surrounded by winners, winning program, just winners. It feels good. It feels like you belong. It feels like y'all are there for the similar goals. It's just you're all feeding into your success bowls, I guess.
No, I got you.
Yeah, no, that's good. No, and then just to kind of add on, just going through the list, because I think we do got some comments and questions to some of your fans, right?
Oh.
That are going to be on YouTube. But let's finish through this segment here. The professional roadmap, right? Your dream, your goal is to play professional volleyball, right? It used to be just the Olympics or go overseas. Now there are actually professional leagues here in the
Yeah.
States. Why was that on the list?
Because I just feel like knowing a coach is willing to help you put in work getting to the next level. Like I think that's like overall that's a confidence booster. It's motivating knowing you have someone that believes in you that can help you get to the next level. And just I want to be at the next level. I'm pretty sure a whole bunch of people do, but it's just like knowing you have someone by your side that can help you do that. It's so important, and actually believing it.
Yeah, exactly. And before we even get to the last one, which is of the NIL, like we knew that the top five, right, of schools,
Yes.
that when we finally went through this list, we put NIL as that fourth thing. We finally narrowed it down, right? Do you want to
Yes.
tell who that top five was?
Yes. So first we had UCLA, then we had Alabama, then we had LSU, then we had Georgia Tech, and then Indiana.
Right. And it was so cool, right? While we're talking to these coaches and hearing all the things, right? You talk about professional roadmap, right? But then there was kind of Georgia Tech was kind of like a little bit of the leader there because the coach herself won 2 gold medals, right? And
Yeah.
then also too, the professional leagues practice at Georgia
the
Tech. So the
facility.
scouts are going to be watching
Yeah.
you practice and compete, right, on the court. So it was like, holy cow,
Yeah.
of course, you talk about the culture, right, and winning programs, right? Then now you got the Bamas and you got the LSUs, right? Bama kind of stuck out a little bit
Yeah.
because of your major, which you want to tell what
sports
that is?
broadcasting.
Sports broadcasting. So then here comes Bama, because it's like, not only do we have the number one in the nation, but we got our own radio station here. And you can be a
Yeah.
part of this, get credit for college. And you're like, wait, what? And all the mystique, of course, they throw out Nick Saban, now,
Yeah.
now I'm fanboy. I'm like, ooh, Saban. Like, wait, hold on. Can I meet him? If I come with her for the photo shoot, did we go here?
Do we get to meet
do we
him?
get to meet Coach Saban? I know he's not there anymore, but like, will y'all fly him into Tuscaloosa?
just for us.
Just for us.
Yeah.
Like, how bad do you want the first lady, right? So,
Mhm.
but yeah, then of course, right now, let's talk about NIL. What I liked about your top five, right, which 2 schools were in the Big Ten, 2 schools were the SEC, and then you had 1 ACC. However, Georgia Tech's program believes in their volleyball program because, I mean, we got some good offers from like all 5.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
For real.
it was cool. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was cool to see that how bad they really wanted you, because everything can't be about money, as you and I have always talked about. However, that money still dictates how much they
does.
believe in you, right?
Exactly.
Talk a little bit about that just from a surface level standpoint.
I feel like if you know your worth within yourself, like any number thrown at you, it could it could really like, deteriorate the way you feel about yourself, or just like, oh, like it could be a confidence booster. I feel like if you know your worth and a number's thrown at you, it's just like it doesn't make you feel good. Like that should say something. You
Right.
know, it speaks for itself.
Right. Right. Well, and I think too, Jake, what I was the most impressed about with Samara, and I supported her on this, is that she wants to win. Right. We had some schools that were like, we will give you all of our NIL if you come play for us. Like there's one West Coast school that I was like, man, we're gonna have to get like a restraining order against this school. Like they would not stop calling, but they were showing love.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have.
Great problem to have,
Exactly.
but it was kind of one of those deals of like, but we still want to win. We appreciate it, right?
Uh-huh.
And that's what Samara told him. But you're hurting yourself by telling me you're going to give me
all
of it, because I get that other people have got to get compensated so we can be successful on the court, because
Exactly.
that goes to why the winning pedigree was number 2, right? You know, on that list. So, but before we get to the announcement, Computer Jesus, do you have comments or questions that you would like to present to Samara?
Yeah, first, Sam would like to correction. Pitt did not make any empty promises, just wanted to be closer to home.
Okay, good. Thank you for clearing that up, because when we read articles, that's what we were kind of seeing, and that was before we started representing Samara.
Yes.
We came in right after, the Pitt deal, but we do appreciate Sam. I wonder who Sam is. Whoever Sam is, thank you for watching the
Wherever
show.
you-
sir.
say wherever you may
Sam
be.
Coleman.
Oh, we know. Yeah, we know. He's in the green room.
One of the most loyal viewers of the
Right.
show, period.
Hey, the Coleman family and the Kenny family can do no
I
wrong.
think we need to get
Ever.
their own family portraits thrown up here somewhere in the studio.
We got a
at this
picture.
rate.
We got it. Remember, we're at
See a spot
TCU.
right there.
That's right.
Yeah.
we gotta throw it somewhere.
We gotta
gotta
go
throw it
somewhere. We need to hook up
Okay.
Samara and Dillon. They can get married and then just have just keep the
All right.
families together. Not yet. Too soon.
Yeah,
for that?
maybe too soon.
Too soon for that. Okay, we're gonna stay focused. We have any other ones?
Yeah. Okay. So Tig Woods said, I followed Samara through high school, but never heard how she decided to switch from Pitt to TCU. No judgment, just curious.
You want to ask that question?
Yeah, I think just knowing where your comfortability level's at, like you go somewhere and your body's physically rejecting a place, that's very telling. Your body shouldn't be rejecting a place, and it's just, I know it's hard to comprehend sometimes. Like your brain wants to be there, but your body needs something else, and being farther away from home wasn't for me. So.
Yeah. No, that's understandable. And I think a lot of times people, Samara, they get caught up in thinking that y'all's life is easy, right? They think what DJ went through, what you went through coming out of high school.
No.
But I want to stand on the fact that I think it's harder, because when every school in the nation wants you, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, everybody knows I love Jalen, right? Jalen's my favorite football player of all time because that's my baby boy. However, he only had 10 offers. So we only had to go through 10 schools, if that makes sense, right? You had to go through 100 schools. Everybody in the nation wanted you to come play for them. That's not easy, right? At all, So I love the fact that, once again, you listened to yourself. And I know that during this process, right, conversations, Jake, that we, don't want to put out on air, but Samara alluded to that of like, hey, I don't know about this. Something in my gut's telling me this is not going to be a good fit for me.
And also, it's your journey. Like the outside noise, it could be as loud as it wants, but at the end of the day, it's your journey. It's not theirs. No one really knows what goes on behind closed doors.
Okay, I love it.
Love that.
Well, with that being said, girl, it's about to be reveal time. Oh my goodness. So top 5, we had UCLA, we had Bama, LSU, Indiana, and Georgia Tech was our top 5.
Yes.
But are you for sure you're ready to tell the world where you're going? You've slept on it, you prayed about it, everything.
Signed, sealed, delivered.
We're ready to roll.
Ready.
All right.
Okay, with that being said, Samara, please announce or show the world
All right.
where home will be.
Take it away.
Literally, take it away.
Yeah.
Hey! LSU.
Tiger fam.
Let's go. Hey, so you get to hear Neck. Have you heard the band play Neck? Do you know what that's called?
I haven't.
Okay, well, off the air, go look at it on
I'm going
YouTube.
to.
That'll be
I need to hear it live.
Yeah, but man, when that band plays that, oh, it gave me chills every time I get to hear it. Anyway, LSU, Samara Coleman, breaking news live on the Protection United podcast. Samara, tell us why LSU?
Just simply felt like home. I felt so happy there, so comfortable with the staff. I just felt like I was able to just fully flourish and be myself. And I met one of the girls there, and she's graduating, but just the feel, like the energy and vibe was just, it was there. It was just like, I need to be here. Like, this is my place. They're gonna help me grow off the court with my career path. Like, everything was all set in place, and I think it was perfect.
Okay, no, I love that for you.
And I was saying, before you get going here too, I think it's very important to emphasize that there are a lot of really good pieces that are already there at LSU, where head coach Tanya Johnson comes into that program with a long lineage of success. Former assistant coach, recruiting director over at UT, that has turned that program into the powerhouse that it is now.
Exactly.
So now she has a chance to really take the reins here. And so what does that excite you about, of understanding that this is a program that has a lot of really solid potential behind it?
Yeah. I'm super excited. I'm especially excited to play with Journey. She's an amazing player. Like, I'm so excited. I get to play with some of my friends from 2019. Like, it's full circle. I'm just so excited.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's what I love too, Samara, is that when you and I talked and you told me, hey, this is, where I'm thinking. I remember you saying to me, you were like, I get to go back and play with my people, right? And I didn't know what you meant by that at first, right? I was like, okay, is this like a color thing? Is this like I just didn't know, right? People make a comment and then you drop the mic and walk off stage. But then as I started drilling down more, and just like what you said, because you've played with some of these young ladies, you've already got a relationship. It wasn't like you were just walking in.
Brand new start. Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Right. And the fact that they are just as excited for you to be there, right? They understand, because I just feel that's so important to when the culture, which was the number one thing on your list, it felt right.
Yeah. And also I love how Tanya was open and honest with me about, the culture wasn't perfect last year, but it's just like acknowledging that is the first step to getting better. And as a coach that can acknowledge that, it just shows how much potential the program has and what we're going to do.
Right.
Yes. And I like to, where you talk about the teams being very competitive, where the SEC is probably the top dog when it comes to competitive schools, where half of the teams in the Final Four right now are from the SEC.
Yeah.
So that fulfills that need too, of wanting to get out there and wanting to compete against the best of the best.
Yeah. I'm excited. Different ball game. I'm excited. I have no words but excitement. I mean, I'm ready to compete.
And I like too that LSU is one of the front runners when it comes to representation for all of its athletes. Obviously, Livy Dunn, I think, was one of the real flag bearers of female athletes that were able to grow and expand their brand under this new umbrella of NIL. And I think that because of what Livy Dunn did at LSU gymnastics, now we're starting to see a lot more representation of the Title IX athletes, the non-revenue sports, especially at LSU, where they just signed a brand new deal with Nike that'll extend their apparel partnership through 2036.
Yeah.
But one of the points of emphasis is that they're making sure that it's a lot of the different athletes are getting representation, are a part of that. Gymnasts, softball players, basketball players. Angel Reese was another one of those huge pillar athletes for LSU. So now you're starting to see too, where you will have an opportunity to take an active role in being one of the forebearers for not just LSU, but for young women and young female athletes everywhere.
Yeah. I that's another reason, just being in, like, just knowing that LSU takes care of all Title IX sports, and it's awesome. Just seeing it physically, not just like them saying it. Like, shoot, walk on campus, every facility, top tier.
Right.
Everyone gets treated equally too.
Yeah, and I do appreciate that about LSU. I know that was one of the things that really excited me for you, Samara, is that they're going to take care of the team, right?
Yeah.
They have, money that comes into the rev share, into the in-house collective, and they can earmark. I want this to go to the volleyball
Yeah.
program, right?
Mhm.
But then with this new deal, now the individuals can also. So now there's a team component, and then there's also an individual component
Yeah.
for the ones that are, let's just call it what it is, the guys that, or ladies that are shining, right, within their programs and conducting themselves the correct way on and off the field, or on and off the court, right?
Yeah.
So that was something exciting. And I know, in regards to NIL, Computer Jesus, you got another question for us?
They were just asking what goes into an NIL offer.
Okay, so
There you go.
So who's they? We'll give them a shout out.
Tig Woods.
Tig Woods. Hey, I like
It's
Tig
staying
Woods.
active.
Yeah, he's staying active.
Right.
Tig started following,
Active on the
subscribed,
chat.
and then he's been on it. Tig, stay on there. So, you want me to answer that, or
Yeah.
you want me to answer? Okay. So, what goes into a NIL deal? There's a lot of components in that. First of all, no one's going to want to invest in an athlete if they don't conduct themselves the right way, because they've got to obviously recognize and promote their brand for an outside endorsement deal on that front, right? In regards to NIL, from what the schools are wanting, it's just going to be based off of their talent and what they can bring to the table. So there is a monetary compensation that comes with that. We also are going to be negotiating and making sure that our guys here at Protection United are getting their fair value. And then in return, in exchange, Samara's got to go do things like go shake hands and kiss babies. She's got to go to certain events, right? Could be at a $5,000 dinner, right? Plate dinner. She might have to, obviously go do some promotions. A lot of people that follow Samara saw that she was on a lot of the TCU's promotion teams, and when they would promote the games or the matches rather, or go promote the certain graphics after a big win, those are the things that the athletes have to do in order to earn that compensation with the NIL.
All right. I think you answered that one perfectly, Jay. I think you
Girl.
answered that one better than I ever could. And I'll let you handle the business side of it. You got the negotiations on check. I'll take care of the media side.
I like that.
I'll do my best to take care of the media
You
side.
tell that story, Jay.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's all we got to do.
Absolutely. I have a tremendous amount of help too that comes from that side too, of making sure that things go smoothly, not only on the podcast side, but making sure we get the right footage, making sure we get the right graphics in, making sure all of that comes together. And speaking of that too, Jay, speaking of the help that we get, we have none other than another segment here of Crunch Time with Addie. Addie Farrell, our fantastic client relations member here at Protection United. She's done an excellent job in terms of getting us some of the clips that y'all have seen throughout these several podcasts. But I think she has a burning question that she has to ask the three of us here, Jay, of who is the biggest athlete we have ever met? Justin, you are good to roll the clip.
Hey guys, welcome back to Crunch Time with Addie. So, as most of you know, our athletes have been making a big name for themselves every week in the sports world, and we have loved being there every step of the way. Now that we know you're connected with the stars, who is the biggest athlete or entertainer that you have personally met? Have fun with this, and I'll see y'all next time.
So
Okay.
there it is.
There's a
It's
question.
a question that we've had on the back pocket for a while, you and I, Jay, and
Yep.
we've been looking for the right time to ask it. And I think this is the right time and the right person not only to ask that question too, where Samara, you've obviously been around a lot of really stellar athletes in your time, not just here at the collegiate level, but even while you were in high school. You had the opportunity to rub shoulders with a lot of really great athletes. And we opened it up to potential entertainers that you may have potentially run into in the past. But we'll start out with you, Samara, of who is the biggest athlete or entertainer that you have ever met? And I know it's a loaded question. I know it's a loaded question.
Either Simone Biles or James Harden.
Wow.
Okay.
Two Houston legends.
Yeah. So talk to us about, how you, met them and as well as interacted.
Well, Simone was at, it was when I was younger. She was at one of my friends. She lives in my friend's neighborhood. And she's like, we can just walk across the street and we can go see her. That was the first time I heard about her living near me. And then the second time I saw her was at Cryo.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. And then what about James Harden?
That was in Microsoft. Microsoft store when I don't even know how old.
Okay, and what? You just rolled up.
Just happened to run into James Harden on that
Just
day?
off a beard? Like, what was it?
Shoot, my parents probably know more vividly than I do, but I just remember walking into the store with my brothers, like, oh my gosh, is that James Harden? He noticed us, we noticed him. It was almost like he was meeting us. He was like, you three, I want to talk to y'all. Gave us a little advice, and I'm not really sure if I remember the advice.
It's
but
okay.
His presence stuck with me.
You were just starstruck. You're just looking up. Like,
the aura, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, I like that. Jake?
All right. I'm going to go with an entertainer on mine, and I'm going to go with Dr. Phil. Was one of the biggest entertainers that I have ever met.
What? Controversial. Controversial. I've been very privileged to meet a lot of athletes. I've met Patrick Mahomes. I've met LaDainian Tomlinson in my time. In my previous job that I used to have here, I would rub shoulders with a lot of people. The Jonas Brothers, I've also met before. I shook hands with the Jonas Brothers, and it was so jarring to be like, "Oh my God, you're Nick Jonas." But he always came up to me and was like, "Hi, I'm Nick," or "Hi, I'm Joe." It's like, no, you're not Nick and you're not Joe. You're Joe Jonas. You're Nick Jonas. Exactly.
But the time that I met Dr. Phil was I used to work as a valet, where car would pull up to the country club that I worked at. Member gets out. You're supposed to greet them and park their car. This car rolls up. Jay, it is an all black, murdered out Rolls Royce Phantom.
Mm-hmm.
Comes pulling in, black, tinted black windows, black all the way down to the rims. I'm like, I don't recognize this car. Who is this? Open the door and just give a generic, "Hello, sir. Welcome on in. How may I help you?" And he goes, "Thank you, son," in that deep southern drawl of his that he has. And I look down and I'm like, what the heck was that? I look down and none other than Dr. Phil's bald head greets me.
Right.
What?
And we were like, "Welcome in, sir. How may we help you?
Okay.
You know, if you need help finding anything, we'd happily escort you through
That's
here.
insane.
We'll show you exactly where you need to go."
Okay.
And so that was my time.
He's tall, right?
He was very tall.
And he's
He
like
was
6'2",
very tall.
6'3"?
Yes. And it was one of those where we always had the benefit of the doubt of, we don't recognize who it is. We'll just write down, we think it might be this person, or we'll just write down the car type. There was no doubt. We were like,
doubt.
that was Dr. Phil.
That's
That was Dr. Phil we just met. Let's
Okay.
go ahead and get him down on
That's
the list.
insane.
Okay.
But yeah, that was my encounter with Dr. Phil, amongst many others that I could have gone with.
All
But
right.
that one was the one that stuck out the most.
That was the one. So for me, it would have been Michael Jordan.
Okay.
But I didn't get to talk to him because I couldn't even get that close to him. But I did get to go see him. I was in the hotel in Memphis, Tennessee. They were playing the Grizzlies. Jordan comes out looking smooth. And we're just like, Michael Jordan. And he don't even look. Then after the game, we go about the buses. And I did get him to wave at the bus. And he laughed at, what I was trying to get his attention on. But I didn't get to talk to him. So that don't count, right?
I didn't get to talk to Simone. It's okay.
Oh, so then James Harden's got to be yours.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
There
we
you
don't
go.
get to talk to him.
It's really
like,
not. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like in that case, we can say we were in the gym to watch
That's
Michael
true.
Jordan play,
We're
or
in the same vicinity.
we're same vicinity. We're breathing the same oxygen. I met him. No, this has got to be somebody that you talk to, right? Okay, so here's mine.
All right.
So I don't know if you noticed, Samara, but I used to be a DJ in college.
Really?
Girl, I was on the ones and twos.
You have to teach me how to use a DJ set. I want to get into that. Actually.
Okay.
I actually do.
Okay. Hey, well, let's talk because that's what I did, right? And so used to have, a club that we would do. It was a Mexican club, and they didn't have anything going on Wednesday nights. But I've always had that business mind. So I go to them like, "Hey, can I have a college night here? I can bring a bunch of people." So anyway, build it up, party, and do all the things, right? So you meet all kind of people, right? So this one guy hangs out with us, and he wasn't in that cool kid crowd, but I've just never been a guy to bully. I'm just more of a lover, not a fighter. And I just accepted everybody. You want to rock with us and you were cool, no drama, you can roll with us, right? So he would go with us. We got to go DJ in Panama City on spring breaks, all the things. Fast forward to like 5 years, right? We're all out of college now. All that lifestyle is done. He goes, "Hey, I'm throwing a party and I'm having a private party and I want y'all to come because y'all were my friends and all this." So we roll up to this private party and now I'm being like, "Dude, who the hell are you now? Like, you were never this guy in college. How are you renting out a place like this private party?" I mean, this thing was decked out. Had DJs in 2 different rooms,
What?
open bar. Open bar.
Dang.
Hey, he said,
Come
leave
on
your
now.
wallets at the house.
Dang.
Bet. We're at the bar. We're getting a drink, me and my buddy. All of a sudden, somebody comes on my left side. They're like, hey, you guys having a good time? I turn, it's freaking Justin Timberlake. I'm like, I mean, closest me and Jake.
Justin Timberlake.
And I'm like, yeah, we're having a blast. He said, man, it's awesome, man. He said, hey, look, I just want to come over and introduce myself because my cousin would never shut up talking about y'all for the past 5-6 years. I'm like, who the hell's your cousin? He points out, it's the guy.
What?
Not cool,
No,
not the guy,
yeah.
cool kid that Jade in big time.
That's why you're nice to
That's why
everybody.
you're nice to everybody. Because you never know who they're related to.
Exactly.
So Justin comes up and goes, hey, man, anything y'all need, want, man, come party with us. I'm still single, ready to mingle during this time. So Justin's like, hey, man, y'all just come up here in the VIP with us. It's a VIP within the VIP party. Girl, Justin Timberlake.
That's insane.
Crazy.
Wow.
That's mine.
There you go.
That's mine.
Sad.
I can't top that. I'm not
I
gonna
think that's
lie.
one hell of a way to cap off that crunch time with Addie.
Whew.
Thank you for the interesting lore and the interesting background there, Jay. I remember you talking about how you used to do stuff in clubs. I didn't know it was DJs.
Oh, bro. I used to DJ, man. It
How
was
many
fun.
secrets are you full of?
I'm a man of many talents.
It's always the dad lore that always comes out later in
Literally.
life, where it's like, wait a minute, Dad, you did this?
Exactly.
Yeah. But hey, JT, and look, the guy is cool as just like what y'all think he is. I mean,
Aw.
down to earth.
Mhm.
I think at that time he was dating what was the one of Charlie Angel's girls?
Jeez.
I'm thinking of Karma Electric because I've been watching Last Dance again,
Right.
and that she was with Dennis Rodman. Cameron
Kim
Diaz.
Diaz.
Cameron Diaz. He was dating her at the time. He wasn't with Bill just yet, and she wasn't there. But it was just him. But yeah,
That's so cool.
and I got to party with JT all
That's
night
a flex.
long,
You
guys.
really got
yeah,
to party with
Jay.
JT.
That's a real flex, right?
That's a
Oh, yeah,
flex.
that's a flex.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You weren't just in the same room as him. You met him.
He came up and
partied
introduced
with him.
himself, talked to me.
He met you.
Girl, he met me.
He met you.
I should change the story around.
JT met me.
Hey, but way to take that one away, Jay. I
Hey.
think perfect cap off that we could have asked for, not
Yeah.
just for that crunch time with Addie segment. Obvious thanks go out to Addie Farrell for the question, but I think that caps off an excellent episode of the Protect You
It does.
podcast.
Little mic
All
drop.
around, sandwiching in some great transfer portal news. Samara finally making her destination and finally finding that home with the LSU Tigers.
Yeah.
Making that move, Jay. We're very excited for you, Samara. We appreciate the opportunity to have you on the show.
Thank
in
you.
the
Thanks
first
for
place.
having me.
Yeah, thank you.
course.
Thank you guys.
Say it does mean the absolute most, Samara. We appreciate
Will you
it.
come
Obviously-
back?
Of course I'll come back. And I even have y'all on my LSU podcast.
Oh,
There we go.
man.
We got
That's
it.
big
We
time.
got it in, Jay. We got it in.
Yes. Taking it on the road. I like it. On the air with Samara Coleman.
There you go.
It's got a nice ring to it.
I like that.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Say, but with that, folks, that does bring an end to this episode of the Protect You podcast. We hope y'all enjoyed watching it as much as we did filming it. That does it for this one. Jay Mickens, as always, alongside Jake Wilson, Samara Coleman in the house, Coleman family in the house, Addie Farrell in the house, and our producer was Justin Woods. We hope to catch you all in the next one, and we'll see you around.